we got the Sacramento Kings. The Kings were on a 7-game road win streak, and they took an L to the Laurie Marketing list. Jordan Clarkson. This is a tongue twist right there. Jordan Clarkson list. Right? Utah Jazz in Utah. So let's talk about that. Tomo. I came on the show. I'm like, oh yeah, if y'all want to see a good game, I said last two times we played Utah, 2 games combined, win margin of 3 points. Y'all want to see a good game? Tune in tonight, 9 o'clock in Utah. And then I get a notification. Lauren Marketing and Jordan Carson is out last minute. I'm like, dog. I think I put in a good chat. I put the shake in my head, like, Cause all that told me was game plan goes out the window. You got a game plan with something else. They might get lax. They on the last game of a road trip when they won every single game. This is a big setup right here. Big setup. And what happened? We go down the first quarter. The first quarter was over. We was down 40-19. We was down as big as 25 points, by the way.
Y'all thought y'all was the Wizards. That's what it was. Y'all shouldn't have beat us like that.
40-19.
Dang.
So we shot 25% from the. It wasn't like we turned the ball over a lot. We just played sloppy. We taking bad shots. Here's what happened. They started off with a zone on us, right? And we weren't patient. When you play against a zone, you gotta be patient. And they did not run a 2-3 zone, Tomo. They ran a 3-2 zone. All right.
Funny, right?
The exact zone that we talked about. The Wizards should have ran against us, but they ran a zone, and it bothered us early because we weren't patient with the ball. And like I said, when you run a zone, you got to move the ball, and then somebody's going to be open because they're not going to shift fast enough to recover all through 24 seconds. If you constantly move the ball and dribble, like penetrate pass, somebody's going to be wide open. So in the second quarter, Fox had 2 points. In the second quarter, he said, all right, I realize the kind of game this is. Let me turn the heat up. He had 14 points in the second quarter. In the third quarter, you can tell Mike Brown got in their face and said, we got to let them pause, right? And I'll say this. They got to feel us, meaning we got to be physical, especially with a team that don't have their talent with them. You don't want, first of all, everybody in the NBA, Tomo, is good. We know that, right? Everybody can shoot, all that stuff. So you let these NBA players get comfortable, they're going to be raining shots, right? So he said they got to feel us in the second half. We got to be more physical, and that's what happened. We scored 43 points in the third quarter, Tomo. 43 points. My man, look, we were 9 of 16 for 3. My man, Keegan Murray, was 5 and 7. Hit 5 threes in the third quarter. But this was the problem. What are we known for, Tomo? I know we got the number 1 offense in NBA history. We got the clutch. We got the clutchest player. We got all the stuff. But as a team, we are clutch. We finished games. All right. They went back to that 3-2 zone last minute, and it actually hurt us. This is the first time I think Mike Brown was out-coached in the basketball game. And I'm glad this happened. It's better this happened now than the playoffs, because I remember when we played Boston for the first time, that was the first time a team actually switched everything on us. When we played Boston, and they gave us problems. But now when you switch everything on us, we got an answer for that. All right? So I'm glad that this happened. They ran a 3-2 zone, and what it did was it neutralized De'Aaron Fox in the clutch. He couldn't go one-on-one and just bake you and score. He couldn't do that. So in the clutch, Tomo, Fox only took 3 shots. Sabonis took 5. Let me remind you, Sabonis had a horrible game. Kessler was a big problem for Sabonis. Now, Kessler was fouling Sabonis, but the refs kind of set the tone of the game early. So we knew they were letting things go. So stop complaining. Make some adjustments to that. So he took 5 shots, and almost every time, Sabonis got a shot blocked, except for the one dunk he had off a Wildman dunk for real. So that was the difference between the last few games we played against them and this game, is that they ran a 3-2 zone with 2 people in the back, and Kessler being one of those 2 people. So we give it to Sabonis. Kessler, all he did was kept his hands up. He didn't jump for none of those ball fakes that Sabonis does. And when Sabonis went up, he just went down and blocked. So I'm glad this happened, Tomo. I'm not glad we lost, but lesson learned. Now we know teams might run this in the playoffs. So now we're going to have an answer for it next time it happens. And guess what? Utah, you think you're going to get away with that? Or we see y'all later on this week. Don't think we forget about this. All right?
Well,
So go ahead, Tombo.
last time you said that you came out and you beat the team, you whooped the team. You know what I mean? You say
Who
when you
was
on
it?
your it was the Wizards when you was on your get back tour. When you on your get back tour, y'all show up. But I equate most of what you said. I equate this game to what you just said, man. You was on a road game. You was on a road trip. You just came from the East Coast. Now you flying back over to Utah. Well, it was in Utah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now y'all flying back over to Utah. Y'all games be too late. It was back in Utah. You tired. You just whooped up on another team. You like, man, we got this. You know, you roll the ball out on the court and then you play basketball. So I really think that's what happened in the first half. Because if you could say you scored 40 points in the third quarter, that lets me know that it was like, all right, the switch is there. So like you said, man, I wouldn't really sweat it too much. I would definitely take notes of it because, again, the team is going to write this down and be like, all right, so if we hit them with the 3-2 early, we could throw them off their game because they like to run. I mean, that's just with the West. That's just the Western Conference in general. Like, all their teams are just run and gun. Like, they were going to run and shoot, run and shoot. I blame the Warriors for it because everyone had to catch up to them. That fast-paced offense, if you can't catch up, you're going to be down by 30, and you could have been up by 10. I like this one thing, though. Man, Mike Brown become one of my favorite coaches, bro. I promise you. You can't trick a defense. You can't trick a trick defense. You know what? Hold on. Let me get it right. Because that's a tongue twister too. You can't trick a trick defense. You've just got to run your stuff. If you run your stuff and somebody get an open shot, then they got to shoot. So everything you just said is essentially what Mike Brown said in that quote. I messed it up in the beginning, but I caught up. See, just like I did in the third quarter. He see it. So that right there lets you know you got nothing to worry about. Again, man, when you have a good coach, a solid team who got each other back, you can't go wrong with that, man. That's why I keep picking y'all to win these games, and I say y'all gonna win a series is because of the chemistry there. Like the core is there. It's kind of like watching a Disney movie or like one of them documentaries on Netflix where you see a team go from nothing to something and you just like, bro, they're going to fight for each other. Like if Fox not playing good, Sabonis got us. If Sabonis not playing good, Fox going to get us. And the rotations with the benches. It's like, hey, if Keegan Murray off, then I got, what's my boy name? Monk. Monk could come in. And if Monk not doing good, then I give it to Kessler. And you got Davis. Like the name, like whoever's hot that night, they're going to keep y'all afloat. And the fact that everybody knows that the coach gonna go with the hot hand, it keeps everybody engaged. So, bro, you really ain't got too much to worry about. Now, if y'all lose 3 games, then you can come back on here and we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah. I like who we got, man. I trust my man, Mike Brown. All right. And we're gonna make some adjustments, man. I'm ready for the playoffs. And that's the whole purpose of the regular season. For those who don't know, is to see how people gonna guard you, how people gonna play against you. And then you get a chance to get a sneak peek of what people might do in the playoffs. So better to see it now than later. So I'm good with it.
That's a fact.
All right. So let's go to our next topic. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.